Well, thank you, Tara. Good to see everybody. I'm Scott Goldstein. I was trying to think. I've had our two girls, they're 2 and 5. I think we've been there for 4 summers and 2 school years. And I myself went to the GECC in Owings Mills, Maryland, growing up. And so I always had kind of an affinity for GECC education. But we started at a different school here in Lake Highlands that was a good program, but was kind of a newer startup and didn't seem like it was as stable as it should be. And so a couple years ago, I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago now, we decided, because we've been going to the GECC for summer camp, we decided to put our older one in for school. And I remember meeting Tara to talk about the school and just getting a great feel for it from the start and asking her about some of the teachers and how long they've been there. And I think you told me, Tara, was like, there's some teachers who've been there 10, 15 years. And it's just, there's a real feeling of comfort and stability and constant communication, constant flow of stories and pictures on the app we use that through school and through camp for the little ones. We get to see pictures of them every day. So you're always knowing what's going on because between the ages of 2 and 5, they're not always telling you a lot about what they're doing during the day when they go to school at this age. So I think that it's obviously an odd time. And when we dropped our younger one off for her very first day of school and put her in the arms of strangers who were wearing masks and face shields and gloves last September, we didn't know how she was going to handle it, but she didn't know any differently. And once they got in there, it has been such a godsend to be able to send them to school and to camp through everything that's been going on the last year and a half. And I just don't know what we would have done if we didn't have this great school during this time. So I don't know what kind of brilliant advice I can give other than, yes, for those of you who are sending your kids for the very first time, it's going to be hard and you're going to be anxious about it, but you'll get over that quickly because, again, all the teachers that we've had, all the summer counselors that we've had at the camps have just been fantastic. We've built long-standing relationships with them, and Tara herself is extremely accessible, and like I said, you can get communication throughout the day, especially in those early days. They understand how new it is and how much anxiety there may be. So yeah, I don't know, Tara, if you want to prompt me with any questions or if there's anything you guys covered in the first half hour that I should delve into.
I think that's good. I think one thing you mentioned to me, Scott, was it took you a while to realize which emails to read and things like that when they were coming from the school.
Yeah. Some of the things that I would recommend, definitely read the emails. There's a lot of good information in them. I know it's like information overload from school and work and everything going on in everybody's lives, but especially Tara's weekly newsletter, always important bullets in there. If you're in a situation where you can take advantage of the Pheno lunch program, I'd recommend considering that, because not having to make lunch every single day is definitely a huge help. I don't know how good the food is, but it takes a lot of stress off our plate and the kids seem to like it. And again, I think beyond Tara, the whole leadership team has been great over there, and again, very communicative. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to them if you've got questions or concerns. They're super responsive all throughout the day. So it's just an all-around great program. To have swimming and to have the music and the arts and the cooking, all the things that they do for us has just been fantastic in the development of our two girls, who, as I said, they're now 2 and 5. The only criticism I have is that it doesn't go through kindergarten, and our 5-year-old is moving on.
I know, it's so bittersweet when that happens. Yeah. Well, Scott, thank you so much for coming and sharing that. And I know Scott would be happy to chat with anyone at some point if anyone has any questions about anything. So, Scott, thank you for coming and for your time as always. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to do it.
All right, thanks. All right, everybody. So now we are going to go through something very exciting, and that is the parent's manual. Like I said, as we go through, I am not going to go through everything, but it is something you should read if you haven't. I'm going to go through some things, and I want you to, as I'm going, please put things in the chat. But we're going to go through it so we'll hit the high points. So I'm actually going through my manual as I talk to you. All right, so let's talk about arrival and dismissal and carpool. So if you're in the full day program, as you know, the hours are 7:45 to 5:45. The half day program is 8:45 to 12:45 for the tots, 2s, and 3s, and then till 1:45 for the pre-K. Before COVID all started, we always had a carpool from 8:45 to 9:10 every day. And then we had one at 12:45 and 1:45. Last year, we were not allowing parents in the building. So we had a full-time carpool that went from 7:45 to 9:05. We are not doing that this year. It was something that we did when we had to do it. It makes our lives a little more complicated, but what we are going to do is run a carpool from 7:45 to 8, and then from 8:40 to 9:05. So what that means is during that time, you can just pull up to the school and one of us will take your child out of the car and walk them to their class. This year, you are welcome to come and walk your child to class. As you probably read in my email, parents are welcome in the building as long as they are masked the entire time that they're there, regardless of vaccination status. You can walk to the door. We aren't going to have parents coming into the classrooms, but you can walk to the door. You can chat with your child's teacher, drop your child off. I will tell you, the toddlers and stuff, it's nice to walk them in if you can, but there are some children who just separate better at carpool. And it's easier for you because you don't have to see all the crying, but whatever works for you, we will do. Like I said, we will run a carpool at 12:45 to 1, where you can just pull up, and then again at 1:45 to 2. So you can pull up to the door and we'll bring them out, or you can park in the lot and walk in, whichever is easiest for you. We do, like if you are in the morning program only, the classrooms don't open till 8:40. So just don't come before 8:40. But if you're in the full day program, you can come in as early as 7:45. We do have a late fee for pickup. We give you a couple passes, but then it is $1 a minute for late fee. If you are unable to pick up, we always ask that you call. The reason we do that is that we staff for the times that our children are being picked up. And if they're not picked up on time, we have to rearrange that. Happy to do it once in a while. We all have things come up. Just give us a call and we'll make sure that they're good and safe. So what should you do when bringing your child to the classroom or picking them up? You want to make sure if you are walking them in that you sign them in with the teacher. Okay, so make sure that you walk them, you make sure the teacher sees them and greets them, signs them in, and you can go. Also in the afternoon when you come to pick up. If you come to pick up and they're out on the naturescape or something like that, we've had parents, their child's on the naturescape kind of near the door, they just come in and they take their child, and the 2 minutes later, the teacher's looking for the child and they don't know where they are. So always make sure that you are checking them in and checking them out with the teacher. If they come to us with us through Carpool, whoever walks into their class is checking them in, and whoever brings them out is checking them out. So we will do that if you don't walk in. Their morning routine starts around, I would say 9:10 is the morning routine, 9:10, 9:15. So I would definitely, if you can, try to be there by then. They'll usually start once everyone in the class is in. So around 9:05, 9:10, 9:15. Okay, so for procedures for the release of children, we will not release your child to anyone who is not on your emergency contact list, which you should have turned in on your paperwork. And then also, we will not release your child to anyone we don't know without a photo ID. So if a grandparent is going to be picking up regularly, we will check their their ID, the first time, but then after we get to know them, we won't check it. However, it could be that one day there's someone else doing carpool and they haven't met the grandparent. So just make sure if you have other people picking up that they always have their ID on them. And if you do have someone picking up who's not on your list, then make sure that you send an email to the ECC admin email address to share with that. The ECC admin email address is the email address that we want you to use for absences, for pickups, and things like that. So the email address is ECC admin, ADMIN, at jccdallas.org. So that's going to be your key kind of general email address that you will write to. So it's eccadmin at jccdallas.org. Any of those things that you need to write, you can go ahead and write to there, and someone always checks that email. If your child is going to be absent for illness or vacation or anything, we also want you to let the ECC admin know. We do try to keep a pulse on illness in the school so that we can notice any trends. The only way we can do that is if you all report illness to us. We do report illness, like for example, if there's anything like strep or hand, foot, mouth, things like that, we will notify the class if there's a diagnosed case, but we just need to make sure that everyone's letting us know. Especially during this COVID season, pandemic, we want to make sure that we're staying on top of all the health. So please make sure to email the ECC admin if your child is sick. What happens if your child gets sick at school? It happens. We keep them comfortable until you would come get them. Everybody will be sent home with an illness report. And what the illness report says is what if they had fever, what their temperature was, and what time we took it, if we gave them any medication, any symptoms that they had. And it'll also tell you the earliest time that your child can come back to school. So everybody will receive an illness report. We will, again, like we said, 24 hours free. The way that our health policy stands right now is that if anybody in your house who is not vaccinated, now I'm going to say this, and as I say this, things could be changing. So our policies know that they're kind of ever flowing. As they stand now, is that if anybody in your home who has COVID related symptoms and is not vaccinated, then they need to get a COVID test, a PCR test, and your child can't return to school until they have a negative test. Just as a general rule, we do not accept rapid tests for anything. We've had too many false negatives and actually some false positive things with the rapids. And so we only take PCR tests. If you're unsure about a situation, then you just call me and we'll talk it out and we will let you know what you have to do in that situation. That's always the best way to handle it, just to give us a call. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna move y'all to a different area on my screen so I can see better. Okay. Okay, there we go. Just moving right along. Medication. We will administer medication to your child, but we must have written notice from you. So the written notice means there are forms on the website for all kinds of things, including bug spray, diaper cream, Tylenol, and things like that. We will not be able to administer any medication unless you have a completed form. If your child's on an antibiotic or they need a breathing treatment or anything like that, we're also happy to administer that at school. If your child needs to keep some allergy medication, you just let us know. We'll put together an allergy action plan, but we are very comfortable administering medicine. We're actually there's a special training that you have to go through to administer medicine. So we all have that as well. Medical emergency procedures. I'd like to say, hopefully, God willing, we don't have to have any emergency procedures. There have been times where we have had to call 911 for different things. Something common that tends to happen is children have a febrile seizure, which is a very scary thing to see as a parent, but a harmless thing. We've seen, just different things happen, not often, but we don't hesitate to call 911 if we need to. We will call 911. We will call you. If your child has to go to the hospital for any reason, we will go with them until you're able to arrive. But thank God I don't even remember the last time we called 911, which is good. So we are on top of it though and ready to do that should we need to. All of our teachers are certified in first aid and CPR, so they all know how to do that. They're all trained on EpiPens and things like that. So they do know the basics. We also have an emergency medical team of people who are trained, not medical people, but people who are also trained to respond in medical emergencies. So we have a pretty good system at the J. Hopefully we never have to use it. Let's see. You will always be notified if there is a situation related to the safety or health of your child. For example, if we have a COVID case in the school, but not in your child's class, you'll still get notifications if there is a COVID case in school. If there were anything security-wise you needed to know about, we will always tell you those things. We are always going to notify you over everything. Substitute teachers, sometimes our teachers get sick. That happens, and we are very lucky to have a good source of substitutes. If it's going to be a longer term, more than a couple of days, we will alert you that the teacher is going to be out and who their substitute will going to be. So just to let you know, we do use subs, and we're lucky to have a really nice pool of subs to come in. Let's see. That is okay. Holidays. We love celebrating holidays. As you all probably figure, we celebrate all of the Jewish holidays. If you are not Jewish and your child comes in and says, well, I don't celebrate that, I celebrate this, the teachers welcome that conversation and they want to hear about it. There are a couple holidays that we don't celebrate in school, although we do know that many of our children do, and that is Halloween, Valentine's Day, Christmas, and Easter. So I know a lot of people do, and probably everybody in our school does Halloween, but it is something that we don't celebrate. So we ask, on Halloween, Valentine's Day, that you don't send Valentine's or Halloween candy or things like that. But we do have a holiday Purim where we dress up, and it's very festive with lots of food. And so when you have Halloween, save your costumes because you'll need them for Purim, which is usually in March, which is a fun holiday. Our kosher policy. So this makes a lot of people nervous. It's not bad. Our kosher policy is that we ask that you bring kosher style lunches. And what that means is that you don't mix in the same lunch milk and meat. So for example, if you're gonna pack turkey, we don't want you to pack yogurt or cheese with it. If you're going to, let's see, I just lost you because my phone rang. If you are going to pack, we ask that you don't pack pork, shellfish, or anything like that, and just kosher style. Now, our teachers are not going to not serve your child if you mess up. It's okay. They may send you a little note that just says, remember our kosher policy. There are lots of great suggestions and ideas of things that you can bring. Our nut policy right now is that you are permitted to bring nuts. We do not serve anything with nuts unless there is a child in your class that has a nut allergy. And if that is the case, then we will let you know that you are not allowed to bring nuts. But unless there is someone in the class, you can do that as well. Everything that we serve, we don't serve any meat. We serve everything that is dairy, vegetarian, no nuts and things like that. So, but we do ask that you try kosher style lunch. If you Google kosher lunch ideas for preschool, you'll have tons of things come up. But don't be too nervous about it. Just let me know, and we're happy to help you with those types of things. We love celebrating birthdays. In fact, we love celebrating birthdays and little siblings being born and all of that kind of stuff. And we encourage you all to celebrate in however you want. You're welcome to bring in birthday treats or fruit or popsicles. We just ask that they are kosher. Anything that comes into the school has to be factory sealed. So basically, unfortunately, we can't have things made at home come in, and we can't have things from non-kosher bakeries. We have some great bakeries to go to are the Kosher Tom Thumbs. There's one at Preston and Forest and one in Coit and Campbell. You can get things there very easily if you want to bring some kosher goodies. Just make sure they're factory sealed. Can you opt into the lunch program? Traditionally people start at the beginning of the year. You can start in the middle of the year. We'll just have to prorate that for us, and you can just email the ECC admin if you would like to start the hot lunch program late. Okay, so let me just take a drink of water. For those of you staying full day, our infants will be napping in cribs, and our other ones will be napping on little cots. They are about this much off the ground. We do ask that you bring a nap mat. You bring it on Monday, and then we send it home Friday. Some really easy nap mats are the ones that are rolls. You roll them up and you Velcro them, and when you unroll them, it's like a padded mat, a pillow, and then a little blanket to throw over. We find those are very easy, and then you just throw them in the washing machine and dryer and wrap them back up. You're also welcome to bring a crib sheet or a pillow or things like that. We do encourage you to send loveys, passies, those types of things for nap time. We will, if your child needs it during the day, the teachers will let them start with it, but they will quickly wean them off of it during class time, but they will give it back to them during nap. Okay, it's really, really important that you share things with us that's happening with your child. It could be if there's unfortunately some trauma in the home, or a big change in their life, or a medical thing that happened with them over the weekend. The more we know, the better we're able to take care of them and really nurture them. Everything that you share with us is confidential. We don't go around telling people anything, but I just really encourage you to share things with us, because oftentimes the behavior, your child's behavior will change when something's going on. And you know when it really changes is when they have a pregnant mom in the home. Because it's really funny, because our children can sense pregnancy before we tell them. And so sometimes that happens. And if you just, let us know, you don't have to let us know right away, but let us know if big things come up so that we're able to work through them with your child, and they may come up at school as well. So you can do that. Jessica put a nap mat in the chat. Thank you for doing that. Vaccines, as you know, we do have a vaccine requirement, what the state of Texas asks. So please make sure to stay up to date with your vaccines. And as I think I mentioned to y'all in the letter, all of our teachers are also required to be vaccinated for COVID. So they will all be vaccinated, all of our teachers. Outdoor learning time. We love being outside. And the weather here, as you can tell, well, today was actually nice, but last week was super hot. We don't keep the children outside when it's too hot or when it's too cold, but we do take them outside every day. So make sure that you have with them all times things to go outside. We do want you to bring a raincoat and rain boots that you can just keep at school. That's like a school set. So that when it's raining, we can take them outside, and just make sure in the winter you're sending them with hat, gloves, whatever it is that you need to keep them warm, because even if it's cold, we will take them outside, even just for a little bit. We also ask that your shoes that you send them in, that you don't send them in sandals or flip-flops. It's really important to have a closed back, closed toe, if possible. For our toddlers and twos, the terrain on the naturescape can be pretty rough, even though for us it's not, but it's something that they're getting used to. And when they have great shoes to wear, it's a lot easier for them to do that. Are we allowed to send water bottles from home? Yes. In fact, we ask you to send a water bottle from home, and that we will send home every day, and you can wash, and we will refill it. The little ones, obviously the infants are going to have bottles, and then we will use sippy cups until they're ready to drink out of a cup. But yes, we do ask everybody to bring a water bottle. And that way we can refill it as many times as we need to. Clothing, we ask you to dress for mess, but we try not to ruin clothes. In fact, we don't really ruin clothes, but sometimes, like if they go to the paint studio or something like that, even though we cover them, they get really messy, and someone may go hug someone else and get something on their clothes. So just dress, don't put them in your nicest clothes that you want to be pristine. Those aren't good clothes to send to school. We do ask that you keep 2 changes of clothes in their cubby, label everything, and then put them in a Ziploc bag with their name. And we will, if you see some of your spare clothes come home, that's a sign to wash and bring us back some other clothes. So we definitely want you to do that. Let's see, we will, okay, I'm gonna hit masks in a second. So everything that you send to school should be labeled, everything. Like I said, 2 changes of clothes. You can bring a backpack if you want, it's not necessary. A lunchbox, it's so fun to even see our little, 12-month, whatever, they love to walk in with their lunchbox. They think they're very cool, so they really love lunchboxes. You're going to bring us diapers and wipes, and we will let you know when we're out. So bring us a good stash, and you can bring all this when you meet the teachers, but you'll bring that, and we will let you know when we're out. And then your bedding. So let's talk about masks. Any tips to help my 2-year-old wear a mask? She sees my husband and I, other adults wear, but she's not used to wearing one. And any advice on masks to fit 2-year-olds? Okay, so if anybody has advice on masks to fit 2-year-olds, go ahead and put that in the chat. With our 2-year-olds and masking, it's a process. So we are not expecting perfection. We work on it with them. We build up their time of how much they wear it. There are some children who take it very easily. There's some who are not, but it is not something that is like a punishment and very strict, right? We want the children to learn how to do it. We know that we have to ease them into it. Don't worry about fighting it at home. We will work on it at school. It's one of those ways that peer pressure works because everybody wears their mask. And so sometimes, actually a lot of times, it's easier for other people to get our children to do things than it is for us to get our children to do things. And so we will work on it with them. Again, it's a process. It's not perfection. We are just, by masking, we are raising the odds of keeping the classrooms healthy. So great. People are saying good mask recommendations. We also do keep disposable masks in case you forget one day. Parent participation, we want you to participate. We are finding some creative ways for you to participate in the school. We will have class play dates and things like that. We're finding ways to do it in a safe way. You should have gotten an email from Jenny Burnbury either last week or the week before asking if you want to be involved. There will be, if you didn't get to respond to that, there will be plenty of time to get involved. We want you to get involved as much as you can. Some people can and some people can't. There's not a requirement, no pressure, just, if you can be involved, we'd love for you to. Our son is turning 2 in November. Will he wear a mask then? No, we don't have our toddlers wear masks. So if they're in the infant toddler program, they are not required to wear masks, although they can if they want to. We will tell our son that he looks handsome in his mask. He is vain. That's really funny, John. It's a good strategy. I like that. Communication, like we talked about earlier, you'll get communication through Story Park. It is important for you to read my shout out on Tuesdays. We are going to conference with you twice a year. You'll receive letters twice a year, and we always want you to write back. Story Park's a great way to communicate with teachers. You can also email. We're happy to set up a phone call or a meeting. If you're worried about something, if we are seeing some things that we're wondering about in their development, we'll let you know that too. But it's really important to just communicate. Who do you contact if you didn't know? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love how parents are answering the questions. I appreciate it. So communication is important. In fact, I'm going to put something. Oh, I am going to actually put my cell phone number in the chat right now. And I like to give this to new parents to let you know that if you need something, you can text me or call me. If you're worried about something, if you have a health question, if you're just, your child's at school and you're super worried and just need to know, just text me. I want you to feel like you have access and that you know what's going on and that you're not worried about something. Can y'all hear my dog whining in the background, or is it just me? She is whining a lot. If you text me, okay, good. If you text me, just put who you are so that I know and who your child is. So yes, at least it's not kids whining. That's true. Just text me and let me know who you are and who your child is, just so that I'm able to recall fast, because I won't have everybody's number in my contacts. But really, if you have something that you're just want to talk about, feel free to call me, text me, anything like that. Just know that during the day, like the teachers will not be checking their email during the day until nap time. And if we're slow to respond, it's just because everybody's with the children. So I just ask that you don't expect the teachers to communicate with you during the day because they're with the children at that time, but they will get back to you as soon as possible. School mental health program, we do have a partnership with Jewish Family Service. We have an early interventionist who comes into the school, and we will use them. If we have some wonderings about any child or in the classroom, then we can call the interventionist in. We'll let you know. They'll check it out. Let us know if there's something that we need to explore a little deeper. I already talked about confidentiality. Inclement weather. Gosh, have we had weird weather in the past couple of years? A tornado, a snowstorm, all those types of things. Inclement weather, we follow DISD and or RISD. So if one of them is closed or delayed, then we will be closed also. I will also communicate with you and we will get you into, I'm telling my son to come get my dog. We will communicate with you via email, via text, and then on the website. So I will be sending early next week connection to the Remind texting app, and that is the text that you will receive notifications from us on. So just make sure that you opt into the Remind app when you do get the text, but I will automatically put you all in there. But we do follow DISD and RISD for inclement weather. So let me just see. If we, let's all just hope that this COVID thing is going to just turn itself right back around, but we do have a tuition relief policy that you probably saw in the back of the handbook. And it is basically saying that if there is a closure, hopefully there's not going to be, and we're not anticipating it, that the first 2 weeks of closure that we do collect full tuition. And then for the weeks 3 and beyond, we do collect 70%. So we do give a tuition relief program, or you actually a 70% tuition relief. So also if your class is quarantined for a COVID episode that happens at school, we will credit your account for those days as well. So we do try to help. If for some reason we had to close, like if this state closed us, we would reopen for emergency childcare. So don't worry about that, but I am not anticipating any of that happening. We are moving forward like we are all good. So is there an app we should download to receive the shout outs or the other info? No, you can download the Remind app, but when I send it to you, it will automatically put you in. And the emails, the other ones you'll get via email. Always just check, if you're not getting, if one of the people in your household is getting an email and the other isn't, then sometimes we have the wrong email address in there, or there's been an edit or something like that. So you can just let us know. Hello. So you can see my children are in my background. My children are older now. They have all been through the J, but I remember when they were your children's age. My oldest is going to be 20 in a few weeks. And then I have a 17-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 9-year-old who are all JCC kids. A couple of them I got called to pick up early because they were crying so much on their first day of school. So it happens to everyone. So now that I've gone through basics, what questions do you have that I haven't answered? Well, oh, yes, thank you. When will we know the classes? That was on my addendum sheet that I was going to tell you. Okay, so this is how this is working. Let me look at which date you're going to get your class lists. On I believe on the 13th, you are going to get an email, and that is going to have your class list in there. And in your class list will be all the children in your child's class, and it will be a room number. In that same email will be a sign up list. And for example, if your child's assigned to room 10, you will go in and you will sign up for a time to meet your child's teacher on the 20th. Okay, so you'll get the list on the 13th. You'll be able to sign up to meet your child's teacher. On the 20th, you and your child will come to school, and you'll have a little kind of play date with your teacher, and that's a time to really get to know them. On the 19th in the evening, we are going to have orientation for parents only. And that is when you'll come, we'll have a big opening together, and then you'll go to the classroom and you'll get to meet the teachers without your children and hear about the classrooms and everything like that. For infant care, we are going to start infant care on the 30th, and the infant care little play dates will be the week of the 23rd. So we're going to do them a little bit later. But you will get the opportunity to come to school on the 19th in the evening, and the 20th in the morning. We'll have time starting from 8 to 2. You can sign up for whatever time works for you. So remember, the 19th is without children and the 20th is with children. And then school starts on the 23rd. For infants, it starts on the 30th. When time does breakfast start and so we will serve breakfast, which is cereal and milk. You're welcome to bring anything else that you want at 7:45 till about 8:15. And where do we pick up membership cards? When you come to the building, you have to come during the day, but you would go to the front desk and go to the membership desk, and they can take your picture, or you can pick up your membership cards. What time is meet the teacher on the 19th in the evening? So we are going, I have to look, I'm going to send an email out this week, but I believe the toddlers and 2s are at 6 and then the 3s and pre-K are at 6:45. Don't quote me on that time. I will send it out, but it's around those times. Let's see, if we're out of town, can we attend virtually? So it's a good question. I don't know that we're going to have virtual ways to attend because we're going to be all over the school that night, but we can definitely, if you're going to be out of town, once you get your teachers, you can sign up for a time and they could Zoom you virtually on Friday. So they're happy to do that. How do we sign up for extra activities? So if your child is ages 3 or in the 3s and up, they can sign up for after school activities. Every class, because we're not combining pods or classes, every class is going to have a time that they're assigned a schedule during the week. So for example, class 1 may have dance on Monday and gymnastics on Tuesday and sports on Wednesday, that type of thing. And you would just sign your child up for those days. We do have to have a minimum number in each class, but we're doing it by class so that we're not combining the pods. And we did it last year and it worked really well. Swim lessons can be done at any age. So you can swim, you can sign up with LKSA, they will come and they will get your child and bring them down to swimming and come back. So you can sign up for swimming at any age. I'm just gonna get my dog. Hold on one second, because she is going crazy. And I don't know if you can hear her, but I can. All right, so sorry about that. That is one of the hazards of working at home. So the classes you can sign up for, we are not gonna have that sign up happen until the first week of school. We're going to have on that Wednesday night, we are going to have a town hall kind of meeting like this at night where you can come and you can learn about all of the different extracurricular activities and then sign up at that time. How do we do swim lessons for pre-K kids? Okay, so for 3s and pre-K, they are gonna swim during the day. The teachers will have an assigned day. You will know that when you go visit the teachers. So they may swim every Wednesday, every Monday, those types of things. On those days, we do ask that you send them in their swimsuit. It is a group lesson. So I definitely recommend, if you're wondering about swimming, to sign up for individual lessons. As I mentioned before, I have 4 kids who've all taken lessons at the J, but only my youngest one was able to take LKSA because it was there. And she was by far the most water safe, earliest, and still the best swimmer. So water safety, I was amazed. LKSA, what they do is they really work with the children on when they fall in the water to go to their bath. And one of the things they have to do is they take a survival test where the teacher takes them and like kind of tosses them in the water in their clothes, and they have to pass a survival test. And I was really nervous and thought that is really mean that they do that, but you get to watch it. It's not mean, it's actually nice. And the children are very prepared for it. They know what's going to happen and they're able to flip over onto their back very quickly. So it prepares them for water safety. Do the half day kids get lunch? Yes, the half day kids get lunch. Everybody eats lunch with us. You can purchase the lunch, which is 3 days a week. We only have it 3 days a week. If they're in extracurriculars, they do miss an hour of nap time, or if they're in pre-K, they won't have any nap time. The cereal and milk is included for the early morning kids. It is, we will have that. It's usually just Cheerios and milk. Let's see. After looking at the staff manual, I was still unsure of what happens if babies have a minor cough or runny nose, but no fever, other signs of being sick. Do they have to stay home or can they fun? Okay, so that is on a case-by-case basis. This is one of the things that we would call and talk about. If your child has seasonal allergies, if, even if your child is sick, the coughs linger for a really long time. And so we're expecting a cough to be there, but we will just, stay in touch about those types of things. And that's something that we should really discuss together. But we do not send home for every single runny nose and things like that, or we would never have the children in school. There are some children who get sick a lot. There are some children who don't. It is just kind of the way that it is, but we do everything we can to raise the odds that we have a healthy classroom. And so we will always clean, disinfect, wash hands, all of that kind of stuff. So there's a question about what do parents do in childcare when we have off for the holidays. So The Jewish holidays, unfortunately, this year are all on the weekdays. Last year, it was funny, they were all on the weekends, so we didn't miss any school. So those of you who need the care, we have another acronym for you. It's HBP, which stands for the Holiday Break Program. And the Holiday Break Program is not included in your tuition, but it is alternate care. We do provide child care on all of the days except for the first day of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It is something that when you receive the email from Erica that you could sign up for, the Holiday Break Program. And if you'd like to do that, just go ahead and sign up for those now. I will tell you, a lot of parents will either take off work or have a grandparent come or send them for part of the days, but you are absolutely welcome to send them to Holiday Break Program. And we have lots of our teachers who don't observe the Jewish holidays and do the care on those days. So it is good care available. The children have a lot of fun. It may not be their class and it may not be their teachers, but they're usually pretty good with it. Another thing to look out for are parent play dates. We are going to be having play dates for parents to kind of get to know each other in all different kinds of areas. We want you all to make friends too, which is really important to us, and to really bond with other parents. And let's see, what else? I think I got everything in the chat so far. Anything else? I'm just looking back. Let's see. Does a 3.5-year-old get a swim lesson that is included in their class? Yes. So the 3s and 4s, the swim lesson is included in part of your preschool morning. That is included. What else? What else are y'all wondering about? If the child has a fever, do they need a PCR test to come back? They either need a PCR test or an alternate diagnosis from a physician. We can't just wait the 24 hours right now. So the physician may clear them without a COVID test. And if they do, they can come back. If they have an alternate diagnosis like strep, they don't need to have a COVID test. But we are asking everybody with a fever to visit their pediatrician and just get cleared to come back. Most of it, I will tell you, the school is pretty healthy during the year. I think now they're all over the city, not just at the J. We're seeing a lot of RSV. We're seeing a lot of hand, foot, and mouth, things like that. It's just kind of those regular child illnesses that are coming back. And so we are expecting to see those, but we'll let you know. Do we help potty train? We do. So the way that we look at potty training is that we have to agree, teachers and parents, that the child is showing signs of readiness. Sometimes they will show signs of readiness at school, not at home. And sometimes they will show signs of readiness at school and not here at the J, but we just want to make sure we're on the same page. There are times, and I'm going to tell you, I did this with my first child, where I was like, okay, I'm having another baby. I want to get her potty trained. She wasn't showing signs of readiness or anything like that. It really backfired. It took me 6 months for her to get potty trained. And then in my other kids, I waited and waited and waited until they were really ready. And then it took 2 days. But the teachers are pros in helping with potty train, and they will tell you if your child's ready. They will also tell you if your child's not quite ready yet, but they do all potty train, and we're right there with you in that. So our teachers are great resources for potty training. I really think they help to train all of my children. So anything else? What time of snack and what type of food? Snack, it depends on the class. The little ones eat a little bit earlier. We do have a snack menu that you can see. It's monthly. It's things like, for our little ones who are still learning how to eat, we do a lot of Cheerios and soft crackers and yogurt and things like that. We'll have pretzels and hummus and fruits. They'll make smoothies. We have oatmeal. We have all different types of things on our snack menu every week. What was the ratio of teachers versus students with COVID cases? So in the preschool this past year, we had a COVID case of one child whose older sister was in public school and got COVID from there and then gave it to him. So we had one child, and I don't think, maybe one teacher. I'm trying to think back, but it's the COVID cases. Thankfully, we've had some at the J this summer, but they haven't been in the preschool. And so I'm really hoping, I mean, I'm not sure what's happening with vaccines, but raising the odds, the fact that all of our teachers are vaccinated and they're all going to be masked. So, but we are, I will tell you, at the J, and we are hearing of more children getting COVID, not preschoolers, but the older children. So that's what we're seeing, like in our older camps. Hot lunches is only 3 days a week. What else? You guys are asking all good questions. You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, now you have my cell phone number and you have my email. Can we bring change of clothes? So here's another good question. All the supplies that you need, when you come and meet the teacher, you should bring all your supplies that day. It will make it much easier to get into the building because you will probably have an upset child, or maybe you won't. But we do also send home first day signs, so you can take pictures of first day with your children. Sometimes for some children, we recommend you take them at home before they get upset, before the crying starts, so that you have some cute pictures before they realize what's happening. But I promise everybody does adjust. They adjust. Sometimes it takes a few days and sometimes it takes a few weeks, but they all decide to do it. I mean, they all do it. And I can vividly remember one mom who her daughter is now 10 and she put her toddler in and she was full-time and her daughter cried and cried and cried. And the mom cried and cried and cried. And she said, I shouldn't have put her in. I should have done a nanny. I should have this. It was too early. And then once her daughter adjusted, she was totally fine. And then we laugh about it because she would come, her mom would rush to come at the end of the day to get her daughter. And then her daughter cried at the end of the day because she didn't want to leave the naturescape. And so they really do get to know us. They fall in love with their teachers fall in love with them. It's really fun to watch them grow up at the J, and then they run around and strut like they own the place. And so it's really great to see just this transformation from these little babies to these toddlers to these preschoolers and then kindergartners. It's really awesome to see. So I think everybody's sharing some resources for labels, which is great. So feel free to reach out to me, contact me. I am here for you. I want to help you in any way that we can. It is exciting. It is nerve-wracking, but it's exciting. And I want you to know the most important things is that we treat your children as they are our own children. And so as we go through the year, as I go through the year, if it's not good enough for our children, if it's not good enough for my children, it's not good enough for yours. So we treat them like our own children. So I just want you to know that we really value and appreciate that you are trusting us with your most prized possessions. So feel free to reach out to me at any time. We're here for you. We're excited. We're excited to see you and meet you and get going in the school year. So hopefully we'll see you all on that Thursday. Look out for more emails from me and we'll see you very soon at the school. Thank you everybody for coming. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Tara.
Bye. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.